Hello, everybody here. Thank you so much for tuning in to Spiritual Psychics TV Live tonight. I am Elly Charles. I am really excited to be here again on my regular slot on every other Tuesday. So I am back, I am here. So I really enjoyed last session. So I'm excited to do more readings for you guys tonight. So let us know where you're tuning in from, where in the world. Are you in a different country? I'm in the UK at the moment. So yeah, excited to see who's joining in on YouTube, on Facebook. Come and say hey, and I'll just wait for Richard to put up some hellos so I can actually see who's tuning in, because I can't see anything at the moment. Richard. Hey Terry, hope that you're doing well. And remember, guys, there is a bit of a 15-second delay as well. So hey Nicola, thanks for joining on YouTube. So if I don't see your comments straight away, that's why. So Gillian Baker has joined on Facebook tonight. Thanks so much for joining in. Amanda Lee, thank you so much. You're joining in on Facebook as well. Let us know if you're regulars, if you're VIPs, if you're new to this channel. We always like to say hello to as many people as possible. Kylie Osborne, you're tuning in from Nottingham. Thanks so much for joining. We've got Bernadette Connolly from Birmingham in the UK. Thanks for joining in. I'm shuffling my cards as I'm saying hello. Oh, Amanda Lee is a Texas girl. It's nice to see some people from other countries as well. So thank you very much. We've got Natalie Bentley from Essex. Thanks so much for joining in. We've got Millie Brown from Ayrshire, Scotland, if I've said that correct. I've got a southwest twang, so anything with R's in, I sound like a farmer. Carolyn Thomas, thanks so much for joining in. You've joined in on Facebook. We've got Leslie Parnell, thanks for joining. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming along. Natasha Key, hello from Adelaide. Oh, interesting, cool. Elizabeth Jones from South Wales. Oh, I feel like I need to pull a card already to someone that I've just said hello to. Steve Welling, thank you so much for joining. You're in Ontario, Canada. I love seeing it, how far people, you know, because it's all different times, isn't it, for you guys? Jill Reynolds, hello, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Michaela Hannah, hi from Birmingham. Thanks so much for joining. What a cute little picture with that little girl in your picture. Oh, Lacey Lawrence, I asked you a question about the spirit world last week, Ellie, and you mentioned a great aunt called Margaret, which I couldn't take, but spoke to my granddad, who said it was Nan's great aunt. That's all you mentioned. Would love to know if you have anything else. Thank you. Oh, bless you. I'm glad that you've got some clarity, and it always helps, guys, to go back and check with people, you know, just to make sure that there is, you know, if there's, because we're not going to know everything, are we? Especially if it's people further back in our ancestry. So guaranteed, like, I trust that whatever comes in, it is placed somewhere, because otherwise I'd just be back crazy. I missed out the middle word of that, Richard, because I thought, oh, I can't swear. But you know, we're not just having these thoughts for no reason, guys. Like, we are having mediumship, connecting all the time, every day, and there's a reason why we're hearing certain names, thinking certain things, because it is placed somewhere. It's just sometimes the people don't always know, so it's always good to go and do a bit of digging if you're not sure. And then it's always nice for us mediums to then actually get clarity. So thank you so much, Lacey, for bringing clarity. Keep joining in, and if I'm drawn to you again, or if Margaret comes back in, I can let you know. And we got Limo D Pimo, Pimo. I'm not sure how you're pronouncing that, but you're a regular and you're joining in on YouTube. And we got Kerry Susan Millins from Derby. Thanks so much for joining in. Okay, so I actually had a card flipped out when I was speaking to someone. It's really annoying. I should have wrote down her name. Because now I can't remember her name, but I'm going to leave it to the side just in case. She was on Facebook. Sorry, if you hear me, I'm just chatting to Richard. But I'll say hello to Lisa Burney from Northeast of England, because your name is up on the screen, and we've got Corrie Dutton as well. But yeah, there was a card that flipped down. Pardon? Yes, please. So Richard's just going to start showing some names to me now, and I'm going to go straight in and do some readings. But guys, what I would request is please do keep commenting, and I would also like people to share this live out. Please share to any particular sites that you might think, oh gosh, I'm seeing loads of names now. Any sites that you may feel are, oh my gosh, there's like loads of, I'm losing my train of thinking, Richard, because all the spirit is starting to come through when all these names are coming up, and I'm like, oh, I'm drawn to them all. What was I saying? Yes, anyway, that's what I was saying, is please do share to sites that you feel would be a good place to share. Right, I need to just do a reading because there's someone coming in who's really distracting me. So once you share, I'm going to pick a sharer, and Richard, oh my god, I nearly said the different name then. Richard will let me know who's shared, and then I'll pick a sharer after this. But I've got a David. Okay, there's a man here in spirit called David, because I nearly called Richard David, because this David is speaking to me right now. Pardon? Oh my gosh, maybe this is for Richard then. David's just informed me that this David is his dad's name. And can I just like confirm, has your dad passed over, Richard? Yeah, okay. He's passed in spirit. Right, so what I'm going to do, because I didn't necessarily get this, because I was getting this when loads of names were coming up, so I'm just going to have to do a bit of a platform thing at the minute. So obviously when I speak, if this resonates with anyone else, like please do let me know. But I've got a so it's not Richard, it's Elizabeth. I nearly called Richard, who is the producer of SPTV, David, but Richard's just told me that David's his dad's name, and his dad's name is in spirit. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect to him more and see if anyone else can take what I'm picking up, and then we'll see if it's either Richard or someone else who's watching that I've seen their name flip past. So with this man, David, who's in spirit, I was getting an older chap, okay, so definitely older than me. I'm 36, so he was elderly when he passed over. So I kind of want to say sort of like late 70s. I'm sort of drawn to where maybe there was passing, or maybe this is when poorliness started to hit, and then into the 80s passed over. But it's all around my chest area. Like I've got quite strong pains within my chest. It's not necessarily like breathing, it's just like feels like a really like tense sort of pressing on my chest. There is also some twangs in my heart. So Richard's saying that makes sense. Jill Reynolds says, okay, so the age doesn't make sense to Richard, but Jill Reynolds is saying her brother David. So let me know, Jill, if any of this is making sense with the chest. But I've got some pangs in my heart as well. So it's like tight chest pain, but then also some pangs in the heart, which then makes me think that there could have potentially been a heart condition, heart issue going on. So Kerry's saying she can take this. It's also like traveling into like my back and around my shoulders. Billy Joe's also saying yes. This is what happens when you start doing platform, is you start to get a few people who can take it. Like I've got like back pain with him as well, and shoulder pain, and it almost makes me feel like I'm like hunching over a bit. So I feel like his frame did he did get shorter in later life, and his frame did like hunch over. But I'm wondering if the pain is from like hunching over, or if the pain made him hunch over, and the pain was because of also the chest and things like that. So let me know if any of that makes sense. Does that make sense to you, Richard? Can people hear you right now, Richard? Oh, right. Yeah. Richard's just saying that he can take that with his mum, not his dad. But yeah, obviously, Kerry is saying she can take it so far too. I'm just going to keep going with him for a moment just to see. He's also making reference to the knees, but I feel like it's both knees. I feel like he hurt both his knees or had an issue with both his knees. Richard's saying yes to that as well. So guys, let me know if that makes sense. It was interesting though when he came through, because it was like, I just suddenly felt like this really intense sort of like feeling of like, I can't speak, I can't get my words out. But I was trying to work out if these words were because of like that, like he stumbled to speak later in life because of a health condition, or whether I was just stumbling because he was being so intense with his connection that it was just making me be like, I can't speak the normal things that I was trying to speak. So that kind of gave me this feeling of like a bit of like an urgency feeling of like, I'm here, I want to speak. But it also gave me the feeling of like, he really wants to speak to someone to get a message through, because there has been some concerns of some sort recently that he feels like he wants to address. And also I'm getting the feeling that someone's been like talking about him a lot, or like there's been conversation about him or thinking about him a lot recently, and it's drawn him closer. He's wanting to be around. But also I've got like going through his things, someone's found something of his recently or been looking at some of his things recently. Billy Joe, what? Pardon, Richard? Oh my gosh, I kept seeing pictures. Billy Joe, my grandfather, yes, so far the age, name, pain, and chest. Okay. Richard, do you want to like put on the speaker like what you're resonating with so other people can hear as well?
Yeah, okay, I'm on. Hi, everybody. Just want to acknowledge that Billy Joe Watt can also take this as well. And so did Jill Reynolds as well. Can take this. So I can take the knee problem, the heart problem, his name, of course, I was talking about him and showing photographs of him 2 days ago. So yeah, so all that resonates with me so far. And also
And
Kerry can take it as well.
and Richard also said that he couldn't take the back pain, but his mum has
My
got the
mother,
back pain, but she's still alive, isn't she?
She is, yeah.
Yeah, okay, because I didn't feel her around. Kerry, he used a mobility scooter because of his knees and back. I went to see him the day before he passed and he couldn't speak. We just looked at each other. I have his things, including 15 cameras of his, so I've been looking at the phone. Oh my gosh, like when this sort of platform stuff happens, it's like, oh, because there can be like real similarities. And I was seeing photos.
Yeah. So
and
we've got
Richard
Kerry
said,
and Billy Joe so far, who's taken.
okay.
Yeah.
Richard's obviously can take the pictures. Obviously, Kerry has just said about like the photos and cameras. Okay, so come on, David, give me something else so I know exactly who this is for. And I just want you guys to know I was running a little bit late tonight, so I literally got on like 1 minute to 8, and Richard had to just put me like straight on, so we haven't had a chance to speak about anything. So yeah, I wouldn't have known this about Richard if it is for Richard. I've definitely been thinking about him a lot recently. Yeah. Okay, let me just zone in and see what else he wants to say. Okay, so straight away, I'm just asking him if there's anything else he can give me to help sort of like decipher who this is for. And he's showing me the garden now, and he's making me aware that he definitely liked to spend time in the garden, or definitely did a little bit of gardening. So can any of you take this?
He didn't have much of a garden, but what he did have, he was growing vegetables and so forth.
Yeah, so I was seeing, so Richard can take it. Ladies, let me know if you can take that. But Richard said he didn't have much of a garden, but
They can hear me now, by the way, Ellie.
Oh, they can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So I wasn't seeing a really big garden. It was quite a small garden. There was like a little shed sort of like near the end of the garden, maybe like to the side in the corner.
Yep.
Not like, and I kind of got like that he was giving me the vibration of he wasn't much of a gardener, but there was aspects of gardening that he did like to do and he did enjoy it.
That's correct.
That's interesting because now I'm seeing a robin come in. So has anyone like had a robin like sit in their garden or visit in the garden recently?
I get quite a lot of robins in my garden.
Yeah, okay. Let me just I'm also like, this is interesting. I feel a little bit of a different energy coming in. So I don't know whether this is another contact coming in now, but I was just getting like some sort of drink and it felt like a maybe like an alcoholic drink that he liked to drink. And then I was getting like a funny stomach, like I felt like my stomach felt strange and like my stomach was poorly and I felt a bit nauseous. So, but then it also felt like a bit of a different energy coming in. So can any of you take that with this, David?
No,
That
he used to drink, but he stopped at a later age, and I don't drink alcohol.
Yeah, but you don't know if he had like a bad stomach because of drinking or if it gave him a bit of a bad belly.
It might have done. Yeah, it might have done that. I'm not sure why he stopped. He just stopped drinking.
Yeah, but I'm going to go back to sort of like the message because I just feel that so Billy's saying he did like a drink, okay, because I felt, as I said, I felt a slightly different energy, so this could be one of the others connecting because we've been talking quite a bit about, you know, and they've got some similarities, so this could be another one. So I just want to check with Billy. Did he drink cans of lager? Because I was seeing a can, when I said then about alcoholic drink, I then saw a flash of a can of lager like being opened, you know, when you pull the can ring of that being opened. But then it kind of felt a bit of like a younger energy then coming in. Let me know on that because I feel like there's a different contact stepping in, but I just want to go back to the original David. Okay, so Billy's saying yes, that okay, so I'll connect in there for a minute because I feel like I've got two Davids here because it does feel like a slightly different energy and I have to listen to that. But I just want to say with the original David that was coming through, there felt like obviously this real urgency of he really wanted you to know, and this could be for Richard or Kerry, because he was showing me the photos and he really wanted to pass a message across that he knows that he was being spoke about, that his things were being looked at, showing me the photos. He knows that you were thinking about him a lot, but there was this like message of sort of like concern that he wants to put something straight. So I'm wondering if there was like a bit of a dispute or a bit of a disagreement in either Kerry or Richard's lives recently or in the past, and he wants you to know that he's aware of this and he's aware of like the truth, or he's aware of like the dispute. Does this make sense to anyone?
No, not for me.
I feel like I'm wording it wrong because like he was bringing up an element of concern, but there was also like concern for another person in your life, if that would make sense.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, that would make sense. Yes.
Yeah, so Kerry let me know as well, but obviously Richard, I did pick up, so Kerry can take you can't take the dispute. Okay, that's fine. What about the concern for someone else in your life, something going on with someone else that you care about? But obviously
that would make sense, yes.
And yeah, with Richard, I'm wondering if obviously because I was getting this hunch type feeling, and then that was bringing up your mother, I'm wondering if there was a bit of concern around your mum, if that makes sense.
Yes, there is. Yes, there's a lot.
Yeah, but yeah, he just felt like very strong with coming through, and he wants to get that message across. And obviously for Kerry, concern for someone else too. If you can take that, I would say please just take both of you. If you could just take this message,
certainly. Thank you.
to be, and then I'll come back to Billy in a minute because there was a different energy coming in. But if both of you could just take this message and just know that David is there for your individual Davids is there, aware of the concern for a loved one in your life that's still alive. They're really working on sort of like working it through. They're aware of what's going on. But yeah, like it's that's like the main message, really.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
I kind of feel like I have to stop on this because I feel like it's going to venture into more personal areas, which I feel I don't want to talk about publicly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, there are too many nosy on this channel.
Yeah. So Kerry, I hope that makes sense to you as well. I just felt like stuff was going a little bit personal. So I'm going to stop there, but please take the love. And I think he's happy that he's got his I think they're happy that they've got their messages through. It's crazy how similar that can be. I'm just going to head to Billy for a moment. If you could put her comments back on, because I was seeing like a can of lager like being opened and almost like hearing like when you open, you know, a can. And let me know if you're still here. And this is interesting because obviously what I just got come in then is I got chest pain again, but it's a slightly different chest pain to what I was feeling with the other Davids. And this is now pulling into my breathing a bit more. So it is that pressing, crushing chest pain, but I feel like I'm struggling a bit more as he's here. Whereas with the others, I wasn't feeling like I needed to grasp for breath as much. So can you take that he did have like some breathing issues with the chest pain as well? And I was also getting now connecting more in with him, I've got like some pains at my arms, but it's both my arms, because obviously if it's one arm sometimes you think of stroke, but this is both my arms. It makes me feel quite weak. So I feel in his later life he struggled to pick things up, or maybe like I kind of feel like I'm shaking a bit. So I feel like yeah, he did get quite weak near towards the end with his body. Yes, that makes sense. Is that making sense to the breathing? I think that comment is. And another thing he's making me aware of, so let me know if it makes sense with the arms, because another thing he's showing me on the arms is, you know, when people get like it's usually with like elderly people. Oh, I forgot what it's called, but where you get like marks all over your skin. It's not moles, it's like, you know, the flat, Richard, would you know what that is? It's like the flat marks where like the skin, you know, yeah, like the dark sort of marks. He's showing me quite a few like dark marks like over his arms and stuff as well. Let me know if that makes sense, Billy, and then whilst I'm waiting for you to do that, I'll just carry on with him. Like, let me know if you're still here. He's showing me a candle, like a candle being lit. It's like a white candle, and it makes me think of, not sure about the arms, but he was very hard work. I don't know. Okay, don't worry. He's showing me a white candle, and it's making me think of the candles that like you light in like memory of someone, like memorabilia. So he's making reference to someone has this candle and lights this candle in honor of his name, or was gifted this candle as like a in loving memory gift. Let me know if that makes sense. Also, I'm now being shown, so he's also showing me a picture, but this is in a different way, because it's not necessarily how I was seeing the pictures with the other Davids, because I felt like they were sort of like older pictures and stuff. This is like almost like a picture, like, you know, when you get the canvases made up, but I'm seeing a picture of, you get a big canvas, and then inside the canvas, the picture is made up of loads of little pictures, and it could either be like the same picture, which then creates a big picture, or it could be lots of little pictures, which then creates a big picture. But I'm seeing this clearly in my mind on a big canvas. So it's more of a modern style sort of picture. Let me know, because I'm not getting any like response. So I don't know if this is correct or not, but I'm being shown this. So I feel like someone's either had the idea to have this made, or it's already been made and he's making reference to it. Let me know. I'll stop for a minute. Yeah, because we can't see your I'm not sure, sorry, but I do like candles and connect with spirit. I was going to say, I felt like he was, pardon, Richard? Yeah, I was going to say that there was a message about your spirituality coming in. I've been thinking of getting photos into a big canvas. Yeah. So with that, he would just be referencing that he knows like your channel of thinking and he's really around you. But I was asking him whilst I was waiting if there was a message, and I was getting about your spirituality. So like it was very much like about your journey and like your sort of like direction with your spirituality. Like there's a bit of a change of direction for you, like, so you're still definitely on your spiritual path, but you're saying there's a change in direction, but it's like, how do I like it's like it was almost going straight and now it's taking like a real strong turn to the right. That's what I'm seeing. But right does represent the future, but right also can bring a very masculine energy. So I think it's kind of like a message for you of like the masculine energy. When we're in our masculine, it's about like the go-getter, it's like the doing, whereas when we're more in our feminine, it's about the feelings and, you know, assessing how we're feeling and what we want to do and what we're going to do next and that type of thing. So it's almost like this real direct line and then a direct right turning. So for the time being, there's an energy coming in which is going to take you down quite a strong route, which is a different route, but it's putting you into your masculine and making you be a go-getter. So there's like this fire coming up within you to really progress forward with your spiritual path, whether that's your mediumship yourself and you're going into a different direction of mediumship or just a different direction of spirituality. But it's very strong, and there's a lot of dedication there that is hitting in the next couple of months. So good luck with that. That sounds exciting, and I hope that makes sense to you. You get it? Okay, that's brilliant. Okay, so that's the Davids, I feel. So that's a little bit of like online platform. Managed to get 3 people some messages that they can resonate with. So thank you guys so much for letting me read you. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask for these names to come up. And thank you, Billy, for your confirmation. I'm going to ask for the names to come back up. I just feel like I said earlier, didn't I, when I first got on, I felt like spirit was quite strong tonight. So let's see the names, and then I'm going to go to who I'm drawn to, and it might be a card or it might be spirit again. It's funny, spirit always does this to me though, guys, because I'm a bit tired. The full moon always makes me a bit tired. And so I was like, oh, I'm a bit tired for tonight's show. And then guaranteed when I'm more tired, like they give me the connection more intensely. Hey, Terry. Okay, so let's see some more messages. Yeah, YouTubers, if you could comment, that'd be great. Oh, actually, what I did promise is that I would read someone who shared. So Richard, if you've got, I nearly said David again then. He's just, can they still hear you or? So yeah, so thank you to everyone who has shared. We really appreciate that. And I'm just going through the names now to see who has shared, and then I'm going to pick someone who has shared. I think I need to do Michaela because I've been quite drawn to her every time I've seen her name. So Michaela Hannah, thank you for sharing. I'm gonna do you because I'm drawn to you. And like straight away, I've got a female in spirit coming through. I kind of want to place her in the maternal side. So I'm getting quite a strong like mum vibe, mum energy from her, but she's very sort of like maternal energy. And I'm 5'7", and I want to say she was definitely shorter than 5'7". I've also got this lady like a bit more fuller figured lady. Like, she's quite characterful, she's quite funny. Like, she just made me laugh when I said about like a bit more of a fuller figured. Like, I feel like she was quite a comical lady, actually. I don't feel like she took life too seriously. She was quite light-hearted, and like, when I say that, I mean she definitely took life seriously. She was very family orientated, and she's very like very sort of like homely lady, definitely like to be the boss, but could also have a really good laugh and had quite a dry wit. Let me know if this makes sense. Her hair, I feel like her hair is sort of like wavy, like not like super wavy, but there's a bit of a wave to it, and like, you know, slightly graying from what she's showing me, but this could be at, you know, a certain stage in her life. Sounds like your mum. Okay, yeah, I did feel mum vibes from her. I do have to say as well, I know I said about the knees with the other guys coming through, but I have got a knee thing coming in, but it's more the one knee. It's my left knee, and it's a different pain to what I was feeling before. And this is more of a sharp pain. So can you take that she had like something wrong with her knee, or was there some sort of operation that she had to have? Also, I got the hip. Like, was there a hip operation that she had to have, or talks of some sort of operation that she might have needed? She was always funny. Yeah, she really made me laugh. Like, she came in with this all of a sudden really sort of funny energy, this funny character, and it did make me laugh. It made me feel good, you know. Let me know about the knee and the hip, because she's making reference to these. She had a bad knee and was her left. Yeah, okay, that makes sense, because I'm really feeling the left knee. What about the hip? Because she was drawing me to the hip. And I need to ask you, have you, she fell and hurt her hip. Okay, thank you for that clarification. Michaela, have you had a bad side recently? Or can you take that your mum had a bad side? So it's not to do with the hip now. It feels more like in the sort of stomach, like in the side of the stomach area, like more inside the body rather than, you know, the bones and the outer body. So I was just getting like these strange sort of sensations in the side of my body, but I was kind of being drawn to yourself, that I felt like your mum kind of wanted to reference a few health things that you've been going through, or that you've been pondering about, you know, whether to sort of like look into it more. Let me know. And then whilst I'm waiting for that, I'm just going to go back into sort of her character more, because she's really talking to me about family, very family orientated, and I'm so drawn to this little, I feel, is this a little girl on the picture, but I'm really drawn to this little child in the picture with you, and I feel like your mum would have been sort of like very proud of like the kids coming into the family, the kids sort of running around. You know, she was that type of mum and grandma who would very much be like, you know, oh yes, like, you know, quite firm and quite bossy at times, but could have was also very much like, oh, like, you know, she wanted to spoil them, if that makes sense. May have been her with the side. Okay. And yeah, so she's also bringing me to like closer to her passing dates, and she's making me aware that she tried to keep up her, like, she didn't want to burden anyone. Like, she tried to keep up like her, like, I don't know what word to use. You know, when like people don't want to burden anyone, so they don't want people to fuss around them. She's making me aware of that, because she was always the one fussing around others, so she didn't want people to fuss around her. She wanted to keep it, you know, like, don't worry about me, I'm okay. So she tried to keep up like her sort of energy and her humor, but she is letting me know that it did get her down near towards the end, with some poorliness. Like, she did struggle a little bit. Let me know if that makes sense. She keeps giving me like the number 2, and I'm also feeling like 12, so it could be just the 12, or it could be 2 and 12, but these two numbers, or these numbers, especially 2, is really sort of like resonating, and now I'm asking why the 2, and I'm getting February. So 2, like, numbers can represent lots of things. It can mean passing over dates, birthdays, anniversaries, like the amount of time, the actual time, or the months. So when I asked, I got February. So does February resonate with her or something significant in your family? Let me know. And I'm just going to ask what her right, I literally thought that when I looked at this picture, is this young child in spirit, and that's why I was so drawn to her too. Okay, that makes sense then, because I think that's what I was getting the message through, because that came in a little while after I said, because I just couldn't stop looking at this little picture of this little girl. So thanks for that clarity. I know I didn't say it, but I did ask the question, like, is this child in spirit, or is, you know, this child alive? But from that now being said, Michaela, I just want to say, like, because your mum was going on about, obviously, that she's like around the kids and she's really into that, I would say that your mum is making sure that your granddaughter is looked after and that they are together. Okay, so if you did ever wonder, like, if she's being looked after or who's she with, like, I think that's a nice little message of confirmation for you. I'm being shown like a little, like, trinket box, and I do wonder if this is more for your granddaughter, but it's like a little I called it a trinket box, but like, I'm not sure if it's trinkets in it, but there's something special in this little box. Let me just see if she's going to show me what it is. It's like there's like something like a little note was written, and it's been folded up and placed in the box, but there's also like a few little bits, like, is it little jewelry or like something in this little trinket box? Let me know if that makes sense. And then I'm just gonna see what else is coming through. Yes, I did, and I'm so glad she's with my mum. Oh, bless you. Well, at least, so if you've asked that question to her, then she's come through and answered it for you, which I think is lovely. Let me just, I know this sounds really random, but I have to say everything that I get, but I've just literally seen like sweet corn. I don't know if you've got like other grandkids, or if you yourself, or I don't know what your granddaughter was eating at that time, but I just saw sweet corn, and it felt like sweet corn was quite significant with regards to something that someone really likes to eat or like to eat. There is a memory box her mum and dad have. Yeah, okay. Oh, bless. Okay. Yeah, I felt like her mum, which would be your daughter then, your granddaughter's mum, was being referenced. So let me just go back to that and see if there's a message around that. Or maybe the message was to just let them know that she's aware of this like little trinket memory box thing. My other granddaughter was chasing her brother the other day with a corn on the cob. I was literally seeing sweet corn, like, it's really funny. But I'll go back to the mum in a minute, because I did feel like I was getting something, but I just want to say something. Like, when they bring up these things, yeah, for people, like, it's just to let you know that they're around. Like, literally, they are with us all the time. They see everything. Obviously, like, you know, if we want some privacy, then of course they're not going to like interfere with our private moments, but they are so aware of the things that are going on. So I think sometimes it can seem random and like, oh, why is that being said? But actually it can make such a difference to just know that they're bringing up these little moments, which is so lovely. Going back to your granddaughter's mum for a moment, because I felt like there was a message coming in around her. Obviously, like, with losing a child, like, I'm a mum myself, and you know, it brings me to tears, like, if like I ever thought of that, you know, with my own children, and I know everyone would feel the same. So I think it is a really hard loss to deal with when someone's lost a child. But so obviously she was bringing up the reference of like struggles with her and the grief and things like that. But I was also getting a message coming in with regards to say to her to keep believing, because her belief that her daughter is around is true, and it's going to help her through and guide her to the right places in life. There's also something going on with a job change as well around her, and that's coming in as well. So they're wanting to let you know or make reference to that as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave all their love with you. I hope that this has been nice for you. Thank you so much for letting me connect in with them. And I think, oh bless, and I think, Michaela, I think that's why when I kept seeing your name, I kept being drawn to you. And then I think I even said, when I said hello to you originally, oh, there's a cute little girl in the photo. So I think they were connecting in already. So that I'm glad that I, saw your name again and vibed in with that. So thank you so much for letting me read for you. That's no problem. Okay, cool. So yeah. Oh, okay. So did you just say that out loud, Richard, or do you want me to repeat that? So Rich has just let me know, obviously to let you guys know, that there is a little video that's been created, that he's created to help parents or people who have had children that have passed over, and that he's posted the link in the chat bar, but also in the page. Please go and watch it and look at it, and hopefully it can bring you some help in some way, okay? Because it is a difficult one. And I do just need to say that sometimes I have questioned, like, this is just a little bit about me now. Sometimes I have questioned, why do I do this? Because sometimes when it's come round to connecting into little children or babies that have passed over, oh my gosh, like the sadness and the grief, it is quite hard. Obviously it's hard for people to deal with, but when you're a medium and you're really feeling that, like, sometimes I've just broke down in front of people, when I'm doing readings for them, because it's just so sad. So my heart really goes out to anyone. I mean, obviously anyone who's grieving, that's why I do this job, but really especially to the people that have lost the little ones, because they're just so lovely. But another thing that I want to say is, usually what I find from connecting to the young ones is they're really happy on the other side. So anyone else who's got any little young ones who have passed over watching, they're really happy on the other side. And it's because they're just so innocent, and they move away from the physical into the spirit, still with their innocence and their joy. So when we kind of live a long life, we get kind of tainted with all this stuff that society and that our lives and belief systems and mindset bring, and then obviously trauma if anything happens. And so we kind of leave sometimes, and sometimes we, when they come through, we can pick up on a lot of that. But when the little kids come through, it's usually quite joyful, which is lovely. This is such a love message. Definitely bring the tears. He's sending love to you. Oh, bless. That's really sweet of you, Millie, to send that to her. Julie, I have a few of the Claires, but don't normally get smells. Today I walked in my grandson's bedroom and could smell my beautiful mum. She's been gone for 7 years. There was lots of tears. Oh, amazing. That's like amazing. And one thing about the clairvoyance is what it's pronounced, which is the clear smelling clair, is that is a very strong clair direct into mediumship. But a lot of the other clair senses, they can direct you into psychic or mediumship. But the clear smelling one is very, very strong link straight into mediumship. So it's really good that you got that, because it does usually reference or refer to someone who is in spirit connecting in. So I'm glad that you had that experience. Julie, thanks so much for sharing. Celia, I smelled my dad's cigar in the sitting room last week. Yeah, cool. So obviously, like I just said about the smells, it is the strong connection to our loved ones for sure. So thanks for sharing. Okay, so what I'm going to do, was there like an advert or something, Richard, that you want to or anything? Okay, so we're going to put on an advert for a moment and I'll be back.
MySpiritualDirectory.com is one of the fastest growing online free listing service. Our search directory offers geolocation feature, rating ability, review system, map location, customer comment, YouTube video, gallery, social media sharing, direct contact with the lister, simple online booking and payment system. It's free to register and use. It even creates your own mini web page, which you can update at any time, and yes, it's still free, no monthly or yearly fees. 100% free. Creates your own profile page. Add social media and other links. Add a mini gallery and a YouTube video. Rating, reviews and comments. Includes online booking and payments. So, if you're looking for a medium, or a reader, even a church, maybe a healer, or any other spiritual service, then visit myspiritualdirectory.com.
Tomorrow night from 8 p.m, our popular show, Live with Spirit, offers the opportunity for different readers, each week to demonstrate their psychic and mediumship abilities.
Hi again. So that's what's coming up. So make sure you do definitely check up on that and check up on other things that are coming up on the page. Please come and support all the other mediums and psychics and see what they do. Now, I'd like to request that you all give someone a tag in here. Obviously, YouTubers you can't tag, but if you would just like to comment or something like that, and I'm going to pick someone who has tagged someone. So Richard is going to let me know who's tagged, or I might see it coming up. Okay, and I'm going to do a card for someone. I can't remember the name of that person, so maybe that card isn't meant to be for tonight. Well, I mean, it obviously was, but so Richard, can you see any tags coming in yet? Oh, so Kylie Osborne, this card just flipped out when I saw your name. So I'm just going to do a few cards just so we can read a few more people. You have 7 of Pentacles here. Okay, so this is a really, really lovely card. So Pentacles is obviously all around your money and it's around career. Okay, but 7 is positive resolution to a goal that you have within your career or a goal around money. So if there's anything that you've been feeling a little bit like, oh gosh, like this isn't working, or I'm not sure what's coming in next, or what do I do? Or if you planted some seeds a while ago of some thoughts or ideas of what you wanted to do, and it's not yet like sort of come into fruition, don't stress, because you've got the money tree there, which is growing. So it's telling you that there is positive resolution and positive outcome to your finances or to a career idea choice that you've got. So that's good. And the words along at the top are goals, potential and success. So keep going. It is going to come into fruition. It's just still got a little bit of time for that to happen. Okay, so that's a little message for you. So if I see some more names, and I'm just going to do a few sort of quick fire ones. So Anita Purdy. Anita Purdy, let me know if you're still there. So you've got 10 of Pentacles here. Okay, so 10 of Pentacles. So again, this is to do with like finances, career, that type of thing. But the 10, it's a few different things. 10 represents a completion. Okay, so there's something that you're completing on, or a period of time completing, and a new period of time coming in. So a new essence, a new energy. But the words on here are also inheritance, family and property. So again, it could be completion around property, completion around something that's going on in the family, or money in the family. Again, inheritance, that type of thing. I don't necessarily feel like there's anyone like passing over or anything like that around you, so I don't think it's about that. I feel like it's more a period of time completing in your life, but it's like something to do with family that's like drawing you closer together, something to do with your finances that you've been needing to just finalize, and it's finally coming to an end, it's finally completing. And I just keep seeing like this house like near the sea. Do you live like in a house near the sea? And I'm seeing sort of like cliffs and stuff like that. or are you wanting a house near the sea? Because I keep seeing, I'm not sure what you're saying that's right too, but thank you for the clarification of something that I've said. But are you wanting to live in a house near the sea and on the cliff? I just keep seeing this image. It feels really strong. So let me know if that makes sense. But I keep getting that image in, and it feels really important for some reason. Okay, so let me know if that makes sense. But yeah, completion of time, I get it completely. Thank you, my lovely. Okay, cool. Thank you so much for your clarity. Okay, so let's see some names again. Okay, just chucking my cards everywhere. Right, Dawny Taylor. Let's go back to Dawny Taylor on YouTube, because I haven't read for someone on YouTube. I'm not sure if I have or not. Okay, so Dawny Taylor. Okay, so let's see what I'm getting. So as soon as I looked at your picture, I felt essence of spirit coming in for you, and I felt a female in spirit around you. Let me just connect in more with her and see what I'm getting coming through. So this lady was older than yourself when she passed over. And I don't want this to sound cliche, but I am seeing this with her. I feel like she was the type of lady that really liked to have a really good cup of tea. Like, I feel like she was really fussy with her cup of tea. And I'm seeing like a teapot and her sat and like really like, you know, like she had a special time of the day where she would enjoy you know, her nice cup of tea, and it had to be like it's very much like it had to be made a certain way, not too milky, not too milky. Does this make sense to you? She was quite particular, this lady, about the way she liked things cooked, the way she liked things made, the way she liked things placed. Again, a fuller figure frame to her. I'm seeing her wearing like you know, cardigans, like quite fluffy cardigans. And I also see her in later life, she liked to have like blankets on her lap, because I feel like she used to get quite cold. Let me know. I'm not seeing any reference from you, so I don't know if this is making sense to you. But yeah, let me know, because I was clearly seeing this lady. If I don't get clarification, then I'll have to move on so I can read for someone else. Was that comment posted not long ago, Richard? Was it from a while ago? Because she might have gone. Oh, okay, so only 2 minutes ago. So Dawny Taylor, let me know if you're there. Yeah, she keeps showing me her slippers. Like, she loved her slippers and her blankets, like, because she used to get quite cold. But this was later in life. Right, I'm not seeing anything. Oh, you've said hi. So does any of this make sense to you, Dawny? Let me know. Yeah, did you hear what I said? And like what I'm getting with this lady in spirit around you, Dawny, is like my fingers, I really saw they're hurting. So it makes me think about arthritis, because I feel like, you know, my fingers are a little bit like that. Like I can't bend them, or like I have to stretch them out and massage them, because they're like really quite painful. So there was definitely some arthritis in her later life, you know, quite bad in her fingers. Let me know if that makes sense. So you only heard a female. So, oh gosh, I can't remember what I said now, because I literally channel it, so it sort of comes in and then goes. But I was aware of a female around you, definitely older than you when she passed, more fuller figured, and she was making reference to her cup of tea. She loved drinking tea. My aunt's fingers were crippled with arthritis. Okay, that makes sense. But in her earlier life, she really made reference to a particular time of the day where she would sit down and have a cup of tea, and she didn't like her tea too milky, but she really loved her tea, and she was very set on how she liked things made and cooked, how she liked to do things, where she liked things placed. So in her earlier life, she was quite like the homebody, but the busybody, where she liked to have everything laid out. Like it's like this really quite it seems strange to me because I'm really flaky, like as a human being I'm like really airy fairy, so this seems quite strange to me because it's very sort of like structured way of being and very organized lady. I was also saying that I was seeing her wearing like fluffy cozy cardigans, blankets over her lap, and slippers because she used to get quite cold, but this was then later in life when she was older, if that makes sense. Let me know if any of that makes sense. But I'm glad you can take the arthritis with the crippled fingers, because I really felt that. It was like, oh gosh, I need to straighten my fingers there. I'm just going to see whilst I'm waiting for your clarification on the other thing. But I'm just going to see what else you wanted to say, if there's a message. Oh, I just heard the word bluebird. So I feel like bluebird is quite symbolic in some way. I didn't really know her when she was younger, but it does sound like her. Maybe you could go find out, because at the start of the show, someone found out and they didn't know what I said to them last time was true, but then they went and found out and they came back at the start and they gave me clarity, which was really good. So maybe go and find out from someone who did know her, obviously, if that makes sense. And it's like 2057, so maybe fast forward to 2052 and you'll be able to catch what I said. But what was so bluebird, she's talking to me about bluebird. It feels really significant. So I'm not sure if she liked birds or birds in the garden. Maybe there was something to do with bird watching. If that doesn't resonate, Google the spiritual symbolism of bluebird, because it could well be a special meaning for you. My dad was separated from his sisters, we're all in different homes. Okay, well, someone might know, or maybe not, but it's just the information that I'm getting through. But with the message that she wants to give you is like, she's going on about like running out of time, okay, but it's not as bad as it sounds, because she keeps saying to me, like, you feel like you're running out of time. Now, I don't know whether this is you're really overwhelmed, or you're really busy, or you feel like there's a goal of some sort and time's passing by and you haven't met certain things, or there's something to do with running out of time around you, okay? And she's wanting to just bring home like this positive essence around you to be like, stop stressing, stop worrying, you're not running out of time. There's actually plenty of time. It's okay. Things are going to be sorted. So it's like almost like she wants to come in and take this overwhelming feeling away from you, or kind of like calm your mind down, because I feel like you're a bit of a busybody and I feel like your mind gets too overworked and like you're not relaxing or resting enough. Does that make sense? But that's the message for you from her. So please take her message with love. Thank you for letting me read for you. Come back and let me know if that little message made sense to you. And yeah, it could be my nan. Bluebirds over the White Cliffs of Dover. My nan was the original founder of the Vera Lynn fan club. Oh, interesting. And that's interesting, because I kept saying about cliffs, didn't I, with the other lady, but she didn't clarify whether the cliffs made sense to her. So maybe I was already connecting in with this lady as I was reading for the other lady as well. And this is what happens, is they start overlapping on each other. I am a stress head with not enough time. Yeah, she's like calm, like your mind is like, you know, so you just need to do some stuff to really relax. Like she's saying, you need to rest. Okay, so thank you so much for joining in. Definitely makes sense. Okay, cool, brilliant. Okay, so Natasha, I'm from Adelaide. Was it me with the card in the beginning? You can see my comments, please. Well, oh gosh, I've put the card back in now. I can't find it now. I know what it was. It was the Queen of Swords, but I can't find the picture, but it was the Queen of Swords. So what I'll do is I'll explain the Queen of Swords to you, but it will take me ages to try and find the picture. But basically, you can work out for yourself if you think it was for you. So the Queen of Swords in the tarot, swords in the tarot represents the negatives in our life, the things that have niggled us, the things that have held us back. It could represent people that are negative also, or that have caused negativity around us, or negative things towards us. So it's overall talking about like negative things in our life or in our past. But the Queen of Swords is bringing in the essence of someone who has been through an awful lot, but who has really sort of coming out on top, really sort of worked their way through the negatives. The negatives are now no longer holding them back like they used to. They've learned and built up the tools that they need to, yes, even though stuff still goes on in one's life, they are using the tools that they've learned to deal with the negatives in a much more sort of like you know, better way. So this could also include like healing, that there's been a healing process go through you, you know, through some sort of thing that you've done, or maybe you've just felt like you've just got like more healed or more happy in your life. But the Queen also can represent sort of like mum, you as a mother, or maternal energy around you. It can also represent other women in your life, but it's also about you know, being more grounded and more sort of nurturing to yourself, but also to others. But the Queen is also bringing up that essence of going up the ladder and really sort of like being successful in something or things that you want to do. So being successful as a person overall, or being successful in a particular area of your life. So let me know if that makes sense, because that's what the Queen of Swords overall represents. So it could have been for you. I honestly can't remember the name that it flew out for. I'm just trying to find if I can see it in the deck, because I whacked it back in there. Isn't it crazy how you just whack them in there and then you can't find them? It's like they just disappear. Oh dear. I can't. Oh, has any confirmation come up yet, Richard, from Natasha? I honestly can't even find this card. But it would be nice to show you guys the picture. No. It's actually disappeared. It's completely disappeared. So maybe the message isn't needed anymore. That's really weird. No, it's gone. Okay, so I'm not getting a clarification of if that made sense to you, Natasha. So yes. So yes, had heartbreak, now healed and met someone new and life is going well again. Yes, positive life out. Oh, okay. Well, that would definitely make sense for sure, because the Queen energy is also about sort of like that sort of command of like, you know, having like more respect, and not in a nasty way. It's in a very balanced way. And it's like a very sort of authentic vibe, authentic energy. And there's people around you that are more aligned to you now, and that are fitting sort of like your essence more. So that would make sense with what you've just come back and said. Okay, so thank you so much for like obviously asking. As I said, I don't know 100% if the card was for you, but what I find when you do readings, whether it's sometimes with mediumship or cards, is sometimes other people can take the same card, and likewise with the mediumship, sometimes when it's in a platform sense, more people than one can take the message and take the spirit. So what I find happens is then it almost starts to bring in the other spirit. So when that happened with David, I honestly felt like I was with Richard and with the other ladies, and then obviously other things started to come in. But did you guys notice how as soon as I got those messages to David and Kerry, and I acknowledged to the other one that I felt a slightly different energy, but there was still a lot of similarities to start with, as in the name and the conditions. But did you guys notice that as soon as I passed that message to David, Richard and Kerry, that then when I went to Billy, I then was able to get more on him? And it's very interesting how mediumship works, but you can see how people get so confused and mixed up. And I want to tell you guys something funny, because in one of my mediumship classes, no word of a lie, right, there was it 10 people in the class, which is quite a small class. No word of a lie, there was 4 people. We was doing a bit of a blindfold session, where you basically put blindfold on and people just connect in without like their eyes open, and it actually makes your mediumship a lot stronger when you do that. But what happened was the names Ruth and Jeremy came through, and they were a couple, and they were saying that they were someone's auntie and uncle. And I'm not joking when I say 4 people out of 10 people could take their auntie and uncle with the name Ruth and Jeremy, and then all the heart or whatever it was that was coming up, they could take heart attack, they could take everything. And it was like, oh my gosh, like, how can you get out of 10 people, 4 people had the same names and the same relationship with these people? It's just crazy. So it does happen, but it can definitely create a very good experiment when you're practicing and learning. Oh dear, they've got to challenge us sometimes though, haven't they? Because if we didn't get challenged, then we wouldn't develop and we wouldn't learn and we wouldn't grow, would we? Oh bless, thank you guys for your comments. Okay, so Richard, how are we doing for time and stuff like that? Pardon? Okay, cool. So I thought that we was coming to an end. So guys, thank you so much. Yes, I've done that before with the eyes closed, and then we started doing readings, and it's amazing. Yeah, Millie, it is really good. And I think the whole thing with the blindfold thing is you're just taking away like that. Some people think, oh, I'm going to feel funny, like everyone's going to be looking at me and that type of thing, but it actually just helps you go into more of a zone, and it just takes away that you know, the whole getting distracted by your environment and your surroundings. Lacey, just finished your book, Ellie. Oh, thank you. Look, here's my book, guys, if any of you want to get it. It's Ignite Your Light and Awaken Your Soul. It's a training book, so it helps with your psychic senses and your mediumship, and follows the process of the 7 main class senses. If any of you want to buy it on Amazon, I would love to hear how you get on with it. But thank you guys so much for your support and joining in with me and coming to see me. I've really enjoyed tonight. I had a feeling that spirit was going to come through quite strong, and they definitely did start distracting me to the point where I couldn't bloody speak at one point. So I really appreciate, obviously, your ongoing support towards myself as a medium, towards Spiritual Psychics TV. Please also head over to Elly Charles Psychic Medium as well, where you can see more of me and stuff like that. So yeah, I look forward to speaking with you and reading for you again at some point. So I will love you and leave you, and lots of love. Thank you so much. Bye.